Hello, everybody. Welcome to my weekly meltdowns coverage, or preseason coverage, I should say, of Big Brother Canada Season 10. We are here after what I still consider to be the best Big Brother season of all time. This season has a lot to
Celebrity
to live
Big
up to.
Brother 3 was the best one?
No, that was the worst one. And the postseason drama for that just keeps on coming in, keeps on coming in. But so to kind of usher in the Big Brother proper era, we wanted to do a draft tonight for Big Brother Canada Season 10. We have 16 new house guests, so I will admit once again I was wrong about the whole All-Stars theory. But this cast as a whole is looking really great. A very good-looking cast, I should say, too. And so with us tonight, as always, is Allison and Beth. And joining us as well as our wonderful chat mod and two-time winner in a row of the draft, Mr. King Matthew Henning. How are you doing, Matt?
I'm doing good, and as a king, I must have a crown. So, as a true Wisconsinite, this is my crown.
We love it.
I love it. And then also with us is our wonderful patron, Adrian. How are you doing, Adrian?
I'm doing really good. I'm so excited to be part of this draft, and I'm very excited to see what this cast does for this. You're right. It is a good-looking cast, and once again, the diversity, A+ again. Good job.
Yes.
So
yes, it is a very diverse cast, which is always appreciated as well. And Beth, as our astrological queen, I do want to mention that 7 out of the 16 players are Virgos this season. So what does that mean?
That means going to be a lot of fighting for control. That's what that means. It's going to be a lot of cooks in the kitchen, if you know what I mean. I'd like to pretend like I'm an expert at astrology. I am not, but I'm excited to do this, and I'm trying to find where it lists everybody's zodiac signs, and I can't, because I want everyone in the chat to know I'm literally only basing my picks off a zodiac sign. That's it. I haven't even read anything based off of like what I see in their picture and their zodiac sign. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not even reading the rest of their bios. Although
and honestly,
last year I won the draft with Tyshawn, but I didn't do it based off of zodiac sign.
That's true. And to be fair, Beth, like the interviews didn't really give us like too much info.
That's good.
So yes, exactly. So you're not missing out on too much. While I find the link for you, Allison, any thoughts about the cast overall?
Well, I'm going to say hi to everyone in the chat real quick before we get too started. Joseph Boza, Caitlin Weaver, Sam Wigden, B. Bean. I saw Dolores in there, Valencia. I see Dominic in there. Let's see who else we've got. If I'm missing any, Catlin. Hello, Catlin. How are you? Let's see here. I've been watching all y'all talking, and I said that. Niles, I think. Yes, I look like I'm going to rob a bank. I'm a bandit tonight. It's just really cold here. And that's my story. I'm sticking to it. And that's about it.
Beth, just for zodiac signs, so once you click on like an individual house guest, there's an article that says like, get to know Betty. Like click on that and that will give you the so you have to like click twice to like find the bios. The navigation is weird.
Stupid.
Yeah.
No,
it's in like the news part of their websites.
Yeah.
I'm still not seeing this, so maybe as we go along, you could.
Sorry, Sam Higdon, not Wigdon. I am the twerking bandit. Yes.
I see where it says share profile with a Facebook and a like Twitter thing.
Yeah, so scroll down, and then it's like a get to know Betty Yearsall, and it has like a white background.
Gotcha. See that? Okay, thank you. That is much more helpful.
Yeah, so just like hit back twice.
I was gonna say like click on the.
I gotcha.
I was gonna say click on the news tab on the website, and then you'll find the articles. So
perfect.
All right. So, just some few house rules here as I bring in the draft. So Matt, as the reigning champion of the draft, he picked the order for tonight. So the order will go Matt, Beth, Tyler, Allison, and Adrian. Now, I know you guys are wondering, you know, there's 16 house guests, there's 15 slots. What's going to happen? There's lots of rumblings about, because it's a 16-person cast, there might be a day one eviction. So I figured if that's the case, whoever's person gets evicted first will get the person that was not drafted. Which I think is a fair thing to do, given that it could happen to anybody. So that's the best way I could think of to do it. So yeah. So without further ado, King Matt, go ahead and lead us into our first pick here.
Okay, so I was torn between two people for my first pick. And I know I can't get both of them because someone will take one of them. So I'm going to go with Gino.
Ooh,
or Steven.
Okay.
As the first pick in my draft.
All right. So give us the scoop on Gino. Why Gino as the first pick here?
Well, he's a firefighter. That was something that stood out when I just looked at a quick look at the bio. Firefighters are good under pressure. They're not viewed like cops. So, as we saw last season, sometimes cops are viewed unfavorably, but firefighters usually get a pretty good reputation. His strategy seems the opposite of how you would assume it would be, where usually guys who are kind of bro-y will be like, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna dominate, from the get-go. He seems to want to lay back, and I think he could do that. And I think
oh, go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
Well, and also if you have a nickname, that gives you an advantage, because people might call you Steven in a conversation when they want it to be more private. If people really think his name is Gino the whole time.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So, sorry, I didn't know if you were done, Matt. Yeah.
I was like,
yeah. So Gino, my biggest concern with him is the douche factor. I feel like is kind of there, especially compared to other past Greek gods that they've had in the BB Can house. And he mentions quite a few times about wanting a showmance, wants to charm the ladies, he says, and he wants a big majority alliance. So I almost wonder, is he a fan? Is he more of a casual player? I could see it going either way for Gino here.
Yeah. My biggest concern for him is that he is a Cancer, so he might be very emotional.
I totally didn't realize he was a Cancer. That's my mom's sign, so it's another plus.
There you go. I love Cancers. They're the sign right before mine in Leo, but they traditionally, especially if they feel like they are not being invested in, can get very emotional. So let's be on the lookout for that.
Adrian, what were you going to say about Gino?
Yeah, for me, when I first watched Gino's cast bio, I was like, muscles. He's definitely going to be definitely a physical threat. But once in his ET interview saying I want to analyze, kind of assess the house first and trying to cut the weak links and then cop out at the end, I was kind of okay. But that girl on the left, I can 100% see him being in a showmance with. I'm calling that right now. So
I can totally see that
Gino,
too.
So, yeah.
Allison, any thoughts on Gino?
No, I'm going in blind. I didn't read anything. Nope. I just studied their faces.
All right.
I like that.
He was one of my picks,
what does his face say?
further down the line.
Okay. Oh, further down the line. I see.
Yeah, so I lost him.
All right. Okay, so that is our first pick off the board is Gino. So, Beth, you have the next pick. So go ahead and give us your thoughts based on astrological signs alone.
Okay, so I, besides just the astrological sign, I'm obsessed with this person's style and aesthetic. I think I said it last night. I need to go with Summer. I just get really good vibes from Summer. I feel first of all, one of the 7 Virgos, I understand that, but I just get a good sense that she's going to be entertaining, not going to back down. I feel like she's going to be somebody who's just not going to like go with the house because the house wants it that way, but will know how to like navigate it. That's where I'm getting from her versus some of the other Virgos. I think are going to be like much more butt heads or like passive aggressive in some capacities. I think she will be to a certain extent, but I think that she's going to be able to navigate it. I see her just like in like being strategic. And I will say, already iconic petty queen. She literally auditioned because her co-worker loves the show, wanted to be on the show. It's the only reason why she auditioned, and that's amazing.
It's the level of petty I aspire to be. She also mentioned she wants to put God first and then Arisa Cox second. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
And also she says she's the bomb.com.org.net. So I'm just getting like Hot Mess Express, like Victoria BB Can 9 vibes from her. I feel like she's going to be really entertaining in the diary room. Very excited to see her.
Me too.
Adrian, what do you think?
Yeah. I really like Summer. Her audition, her like cast bio video was amazing. In her ET interview, she said like she wants to come into the house with like no strategy. At first, when I heard it, I was like, girl, you gotta come in with at least a strategy. But like hearing like assessing like coming in the house with no strategy, I could see how like coming in you can just like learn the game along the way while still actually playing the game. So I could see that's really good for Summer. I just really hope that she doesn't get like edited in a certain way to like the Iko Wong type of petty.
Yeah. Matt, what do you think?
I'm getting a little bit of like Ozza a little bit in her, but
I think we're having some internet issues. I don't know. Sorry, go ahead, Adrian.
I'm getting like she said she's kind of like spiritual to God. Like I'm getting a little bit of Oz in her, but I could definitely see her like.
Oh, did we freeze again?
And Summers.
Yes. Matt, what do you think about Summer?
I knew Beth would pick her first. 110%. Just looking at these pictures, I knew Beth was immediately going to go for her.
Yeah.
Like she screams Beth pick to me.
Yup.
And since Beth had the winner in the first boot last season, I think she's the first boot.
I think I think she could be. Remember when I was like, this is honestly, I feel very similar to her as I did Julie Vu last season. And I was really.
And we saw how that ended up.
Yeah.
So.
But don't worry, my second pick would be the winner.
There you go.
No, that only works for me.
Worked for me last year.
It's worked for me the past two drafts. So
Allison, any quick thoughts on Summer before we move on here?
She'll make it to jury.
She'll make it to jury.
They'll make it to jury.
There you go, folks. You heard it here first.
That's right.
All right. So my number one pick is still on the board here. My number two pick is still on the board here. So I'm feeling good about everything so far here. So the person that I am going to pick first, I am just scrolling up to their profile. Okay, so I am going to pick Josh Nash for my first pick here.
Wow.
Okay, go for it.
What? Well, first of all, he's very handsome. Very, very handsome. I had no idea he was gay until I saw his like bio video too, which is like another plus because I would not have expected that. Like it's not like a Frankie Grande type of gay situation. Like I feel like he's. Oh, is Adrian disconnected here? Let me just add him back. And he is also our first doctor in the BB Can house, which is really interesting. That like it took that long for that to happen. He is a pediatric resident too, so that means like he's really good with toddlers and stuff like that. So just like a very like gentle soul is what I'm getting here.
Oh my gosh,
He's also a big fan of the show, which is always a huge plus in my mind. And he has 11 siblings, which is that takes a lot of patience to be raised that way. So I have like literally nothing bad to say about Josh here. I think he could be a very good winner here. What do you guys think about Josh?
I'm so pissed that you picked him. He was going to be my first pick.
Sorry, Adrian.
Reading his bio and his like watching his cast video, he like what's there anything to say bad about him? Like he's a pediatrician, takes care of kids well. He has 11 siblings, which he knows how to like handle different personalities. He's gay. He looks fit. Like, what else can you like say something bad about him? Like, I just really like how like he wants to find like kind of like a friend-mance, not like a showmance, but like a friend-mance. So at first when I saw him, I thought he's gonna like be like the gay that kind of like rats out the women. But in my opinion, I don't see that in him. So I could definitely see him like meshing well with like both like the guys and the girls. So yeah.
Beth, I know you have a lot to report here on his astrological sign.
Well, I did a lot of it last night, but just to run it down again, he is a Virgo sun, a Scorpio moon, and a Libra rising. So the Virgo sun, once again, we're talking about control. We're talking about people who want things done their way. They want to take over. So I feel like that's what I'm thinking overall with this season. You're going to have a lot of cooks in the kitchen. The Scorpio moon. So the moon represents your moon sign is your inner self, your emotional self, the side that people maybe not see all the time. It's the part that like your inner monologue and such. So having it in Scorpio means that water signs tend to be a little bit more emotional, tend to take things a little bit more personally, and Scorpios tend to internalize that in a way that puts the blame on other people as well. And so you could see him feeling very vengeful. So I could see him being like very focused on getting certain people out based on how he's been treated either in the game or in the house. Libra rising. So your rising sign is more of your mask of like how you present yourself to the world. People's most of the time, their first impressions will be your rising sign. As a Libra, people might think he's more indecisive, or they might think that he's a little flirty, airheady, that kind of person at first. And he very well could be, but I see him more relying maybe on that Virgo side of like, okay, once he has some power, he might get drunk with it kind of thing. That's what I think it's going to be. It's going to be like.
Matt, what do you think about Josh here?
Ironically, I knew this would be your first pick. Because he reminds me of Rohan from last season, and that was Tyler's obsession.
Yeah.
So I knew Tyler would be picking him first. And just like Rohan, he will be the first jury boot.
I'm pissed.
I can see it. I can see it.
He, especially if he does out himself as a doctor, not at the beginning, but like to an alliance member, like right before the jury. He could either be the first juror or the last pre-juror. Because if that doctor thing comes out, it's going to be, oh, he doesn't need the money.
Yeah.
He can go.
That's true. Allison, what do you think about Josh Nash here?
Well, from all the information I've heard just now, I would think that my assessment would be he won't be a threat at first, but he will be later, and it'll be really hard to get him out because nobody wants to sit next to him in the final two.
That's true. That's true. Alrighty. So, let's see. So, Allison, you have the next pick here.
Oh my gosh. I really don't know what she's going to do.
Allison knows what she's going to do.
Listen, my first pick, and I hope I'm saying this right, is Helena Gill.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Allison, tell us why Helena is winning BB Can 10.
Listen, here's the thing. Like, I'm just going off faces, and it just seems like she's going to win. She could possibly be the first or second HOA. She might steer the ship of where the direction of the game will go, and may start the first alliance, one of many. And I feel like she could depend on those, be able to function in multi-alliances and keep it together long enough to make it when the jury starts and make it all the way to possibly the final 4, final 3, final 2. She reminds me of, what was her name? Paris?
Yeah, Paris.
Yeah,
Good
years
memory,
ago.
Allison.
Wow.
Very good.
So-
I'm very
Yes.
impressed.
I'm saying to
That is
Yes.
my just looking at her without anything else is what I think.
Matt, what do you think about Helena here?
Well, I can't say I knew this was going to be Allison's first pick because I didn't know who Allison would pick.
Do we ever?
But the one thing I
Let's
think she
swear.
could have potentially going against her is she is currently going for her master's degree. And sometimes when you're going for those
Yes.
more advanced degrees, you tend to get a little more analytical,
Mhm.
kind of like Liana did in Survivor 41.
Chada.
And yeah,
Chada.
those sometimes when you're going for advanced degrees, you can just get too like into the details. And sometimes when you're too into the details, you miss the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And I could see her getting caught in a situation where she misses something that should be screaming in her face because she's looking for the minute details.
Adrian, what do you think about Helena?
First off, fuck you, Matt, for making me go last because one by one, my first 2 picks on the draft are gone. Okay. So oh my gosh.
Maybe you should have disrespected
will-
the king on Twitter.
I don't. Okay. So I really like Helena. When I first, same with Allison. When I first saw her, I was like, okay, I feel like she could be a contender. Like, but like seeing her like video bio, like she's kind of a little bit like a little clumsy, but a little quirky. But I feel like that could be a little bit endearing for the house, like to have. I just really hope that she can like keep that mindset of like having like a really good social game and trying to like be like keep her eye on the prize. So I really hope that Helena really does well, and I honestly don't see like her going early anytime soon. So yeah.
Beth, any thoughts about her astrological sign here?
Yeah, so Helena is a Sagittarius, and based off of her photo and her personality, I'm gonna get some fire from her. That's what I'm thinking. I think that you're gonna see someone who isn't afraid to get into conflict, but at the same time, like isn't going to be the source of it, right? She'll get involved as like, that's my friend you're talking about. What are you doing right now? Like that's the kind of ally I see her as being kind of loyal in that sense. But Sagittariuses are interesting. They're loyal friends, but they're not loyal lovers all the time.
I'm not going to go to that part, but continue.
And there's an element of ghosting that can sometimes happen. I don't think that obviously that can happen in the Big Brother house, but I could see her potentially flip-flopping to another side of the house if it seems to benefit her better. That's the kind of vibe I get from her. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think that that's a smart thing. I think she could, I don't know anything other than the fact that she's a Sagittarius and she looks cute. So I feel like she could play a middle game. That's what I'm going off of.
All right. Okay, so Adrian, go ahead and give us your first of 2 picks here.
Okay. You know what? This is either gonna shoot me right in the foot for picking her, or like I could kind of see like a little bit of an upside to her because of when you see her. I'm gonna rep the Glasses fam, and I'm gonna pick Jessica.
Oh, that was my next pick.
Yep, that's a good one.
All right,
Yes.
Adrian. So tell us why Jessica is winning Big Brother Canada 10.
So obviously Jessica is a huge super fan. Like she knows Kristen McInnes. She has been in like the Twitch chats of Bruno's live streams, and she has been like a huge fan of RHAP. So that's a good upside. Looking at her, she kind of has like that Brooke, Sarah Hanlon upside to her, but like that could also be like when the house gets to see her, be like, okay, we got to keep an eye on her. But honestly, I feel like she can like be better socially, and that's what she said she's going to try and work on. She's also kind of like weird, like in a good way, because she's a visual artist. Like in her bio, she said she mummified a bat. So I think that's pretty cool. So I feel like her like mentioning that she's an artist while having there's another artist in the house with her, that could really benefit her to her game. So I can honestly see her like really doing good in the mental comps, and I really hope like she does play a really good social game and just sit back.
One thing I wanted to note about Jessica, she's 35 years old, which I actually think is like the average age for this cast is like 27, 28, 29-ish. So she's a little older than the average. However, like I feel like her style and her like creativity like makes her like young at heart, if that makes any sense. So I feel like she has the best of both worlds, where like she feels like young and fun, but she has like a little bit more life experience than some of these kids. And she has a rescue cat, which is very admirable as well.
And I forgot to mention, like, she's the oldest woman in the house at 35.
She coming in the house with a walker.
Being in is not old.
Yeah. No, Marty's 43. She's not the oldest one.
Yeah. No, the oldest woman.
I think he said she's the oldest female.
Oh, I see. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So Jessica goes by they, them, and she, her. So we don't know if she is a woman or how they identify. So I look forward to seeing, if they're non-binary, if they're gender fluid, those different kinds of things. Jessica also is a Taurus, and I'm very excited about. I love my Taurus people. They could everyone goes like, oh, Tauruses are stubborn, which can be the case. They can also be a little lazy, but the thing about them that they can also be the life of the party. They are typically very social, and they're the kind of people that normally everybody kind of gets along with unless there's a conflict. So I could see Jessica being somebody that the vast majority of people just kind of go, oh yeah, Jessica's fine. I don't see her being a target the first few weeks, but I also wonder if she'll have that commitment issue of being able to find her group and that kind of thing. That's my only worry about her.
I need to defend myself real quick because I'm getting blasted in the chat here about her age. I'm not insinuating that 35 is old by any stretch.
I hope not.
No,
it's
really,
the older of
there's a whole group here who's very much in that ballpark.
Hi, I'm going to be 34 this year. What's up?
Listen,
I will also be 34 this year.
Matt, what do you?
Sorry for no one but myself.
Yes. I just mean like in terms of like compared to everybody else in the house. But Matt, what do you think about Jessica here?
I mean, Bean hit it on the head for me. She reminds me very much of Sarah Beth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like she or they, depending upon what they choose to go by when we get into the season. They give me that same vibe based off her profession and just kind of her personality, their personality that's coming through. And I just don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because as someone who is related to a Taurus, my older sister is a Taurus, I know the problems that come with being attached to a Taurus. And that scares me for her in this
To
house.
be fair, she's in a house full of other earth signs for the most part.
True.
So that's going to be helpful for her.
Allison.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No,
Beth.
go ahead.
Beth.
No, Allison's
yeah, I was just gonna ask her what she thought about Jessica here.
I don't really have anything. I didn't really notice when I was going through. I just kind of skipped her because I've kind of been, I don't know. I just kind of, like I said, the Sarah Beth and Nicole, but the glasses and the quirky hair, it's just, it just doesn't do anything for me. I'm sorry. I don't have anything. I think it's great, but I feel like they will possibly make it to jury, if not get dragged, used, and have a very fight to the death trying to win the veto to save their life, and they don't make it kind of scenario unfolding in front of all of us. It's a tale as old as time, and it will probably happen.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, so Adrian, go ahead and give us your second pick here.
Oh my gosh. No, this is where it gets difficult. So,
I gotta say, great first 5 picks here. I feel like the first 5 are like so good compared to like who else is remaining here. At least that's what I think anyway. What do you think, Adrian?
Vote
with your heart, as Julie would say.
Sorry.
Let go, let
Julie would
God.
say, vote where God tells you to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to
Lamar,
start the
please
Jeopardy
pass your
theme
vote.
song.
All right, you have 10 seconds, and we're picking it for you. 10.
Okay, I really hope this person has an upside to her. I just really hope that she doesn't get viewed as this type of person.
What did he
From one artist to another, I'm picking Molina.
Okay.
What did you say about her?
I hope this person has an upside to her.
Wow.
Oh my God! Y'all can get out of the gutter.
Low-key shade
Well,
going on.
the confidence in that draft pick is very, very minimal.
I want you to know that was likely going to be a second or third pick for me. It was Molina.
Yeah,
so.
me too.
Okay.
Adrian, go ahead and tell us your lukewarm opinions on her.
Shut up, Tyler.
Wait, you said it.
Okay. So when I first saw Molina and looking at her interviews, I really like her. I really like her edgy attitude, like her edginess, like with her tattoos. Like I could definitely read artists on her. Like her cast video is like very like fun, like kind of like a mellow down to earth personality. I really hope she kind of has a like Chada upside to her. Like she wears like baggy clothes, kind of like what Chada does. Like she's in like that perfect like age range of like she's 29, so that's kind of feels well for her. She says like she wants to like kind of like rule the house, like run the house, like at the same time. I just really hope that she doesn't become like too going rogue or like march to the beat of her own drum too much. So that's why I picked her, just because I could see like no one's gonna like mess with her, and then I feel like she can mess well with some of the personalities in the house, even though she says like a lot of things annoy her. So that's why I picked her. She's kind of like my heart pick, because I just really love her. Like I'm gonna do what I want attitude. So that's why I picked her.
I think this is a contender for first boot here, to be honest with you.
Ooh.
I didn't get much from her bio at all. It was pretty boring. Her bio like video didn't have too much energy behind it. I feel like she is the type of person that takes a while to open up to people, which is not good if you're in the first week and you need any reason to nominate somebody, right? I don't see a lot of energy from her. I don't see a lot of drive from her. And I get a little bit of like floater energy from her, and not the good kind, not the Andy Herring kind. So that's kind of like where
the June
I'm
song kind, as the good kind of floater.
Exactly. Well, that's the OG. But yeah, I'm not seeing it either way. Matt, what do you think about her?
I don't trust anyone who, when they put like out there, I will be the girl to make this a woman's game. Because every person who has said that in Big Brother, I feel like runs straight to the men. They defect on the girls, and they run straight to the guys.
Yeah,
like it just doesn't. I'm all for girl power, but she's not giving me the I'm actually here for girl power.
See, I think she is. I think that what you'll find is a lot of the people who say they want to work with the women and are very adamant about that end up going out because they wanted to start the women's alliance and they chose the wrong women to work with who did go to the men. So I think that would be her downfall here. She another Virgo, and very Virgo from what I'm understanding from everybody here. Like very march to the beat of your own drum and do it with gusto. Fuck anybody else who wants to do what I want to do, kind of thing, or who doesn't want to do what I want to do, kind of thing. I actually really like that about her. I think that can be a really powerful attitude in a game like Big Brother because, and at the very least, it makes the game so much more interesting when you have somebody who's willing to be contrarian to the rest of the house. She seems very physical from what I could tell in her profile picture. Like I could see her winning competitions. So it'd be interesting to see someone who's like a strong woman who's going to be, not necessarily just going with what the house wants to do.
Yeah. Allison, any thoughts on Molina?
When she gets booted, she's going to be dragging someone by the hair out with her.
Like that.
I feel like
that's my 2 cents.
She could be the person who gets booted on a double eviction and targets the person who is evicted next on her way out. Be like, so-and-so is a rat.
Yeah.
So-and-so said this, so-and-so said that, vote them out.
I love that, though.
Hey, I want to take risks this year, so.
There you go. Hey, you never know. We've been wrong very many a times on these first impression drafts. So
I was both very wrong and incredibly correct last year. So
I said Josh would be the next Dan Giesling. So
let's remember that, shall we? Let's take a moment.
Oh my gosh.
I believe I was the one who came out and said she will be first boot.
Yeah. All right, Allison, go ahead and give us your next pick here.
Okay, hold on. I'm thinking a second. All right, hold on. Okay. Are you ready? Everyone's just dying to know who my pick is, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm like, what?
I have
Adrian, you about to pee your pants? Who do you think is going to be, Matt? I want to know.
Can
I take a guess?
I think you're going to pick Marty.
Okay.
I think you're picking Marty.
Betty.
Adrian is the winner. I am picking Bethlehem Yearsaw, better known as Betty, because I like her name, Bethlehem. I think that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I'm studying her face.
It was my next pick.
It was between her and Molina. I'm tossed.
I think she's feisty and smart. And I'm going off looks, y'all. I'm just looking. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm not, but I just get, I don't think the glasses are real, but that's okay. They look good. I don't know. Feisty. Gonna win some stuff.
I tend to agree with HOH. I tend to agree with Phenomenal One here with Betty. Like she's just like a big question mark for me for whatever reason, but something feels good about her, and I don't know whether it's her like high energy in her interviews. She has like super positive like vibes and everything, and she says that she's gonna clash with egotistical people. So I think she's not gonna put up with shit, but I feel like she's gonna be the type of person that picks her battles wisely. I don't think she's like trying to instigate shit,
Yeah, and with that, picking your battles, and I think this could be another Todd Bridges scenario where you lay low and then finally win something and then claim you've been laying low the whole time.
Yeah.
Not that she wasn't laying low, but you know what I'm saying? It could be, she's a dark horse. That's that's a good way to put it, because I couldn't think of what dark horse. Yeah, that would be my dark horse.
I know why you're picking up that kind of vibe. It's because her profession, she is an HR manager.
Oh, snap. So are you serious?
According
That's not a bad
ET
profession.
Canada,
that's not.
She is a human resources manager.
That's not bad.
Beth, is she one of the Virgos?
She's a Virgo.
I had a feeling she was a Virgo.
Yeah.
She gives me Virgo.
She gives strong Virgo feels, which both because like Virgos, a lot of them are very individualized with their looks. And what I liked about her look is that it was conservative, yet very flashy at the same time. Like but like you're not going to give her outfit second thought, but at the same time, it's not boring, right? So it's that middle ground kind of area. She has a very warm and inviting face. Like I feel like she's going to be someone who's charismatic, but she's not going to be somebody who like is running around like drawing attention to herself. And I feel like
it's I feel like it's going to be kind of it's going to be we could get to her later.
And
that'll
then later
be a mistake.
happens, and they're still like, ugh.
Yeah, exactly. That's why
She
I
was-
think
she
you
was
and
my
I are on the
next
same
bit.
page.
She's someone who could be like an Erica from the previous season of Survivor. If she
Yeah,
could easily be
I
viewed
could
as an early
see
threat,
that.
I could see that
but
as
people
well.
could be like, we can save her for later.
Yeah.
And then we can save her for later, and then we're getting to Final Four. And it's like, oh, later's here, but there's not much we can do about it now.
Yeah, and then she just turns on this like impressive end game and surprises us all. All right, so Allison, that is your next pick. So, okay, I'm pretty stumped here on who to pick next. I wanted another, I wanted a woman because I picked a guy first, but
I know
really.
exactly who you're going to choose.
Oh, really?
I think
I have
too.
ideas as to who
I
he.
think I know.
Maybe I shouldn't say exactly. I have an idea of who you might choose.
I think I know.
Beth, should I text you who I think he's gonna pick?
Sure.
Let's see. I'm really stumped here. Like
There's Beth.
I'm torn between two people, but I have a lot of like hell no's
I'm
left. So I think I'm going to go with.
Okay, the text has been sent.
Okay. I'm gonna go with who I think is gonna be swept up soon. So I'm gonna go with. Oh my gosh, I'm so torn. Okay, I'm gonna go with Kyle Moore for my second pick.
I literally just texted. I think he'll do Kyle.
Yep.
I called that.
He was on my mind, but that was one that I was staying away from for a good reason.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with Kyle Moore, although like I really worry that this other person is going to be swept up by the time it comes back around to me. But okay, so of course like the whole like internet story about like Kyle Moore becoming on BB Can is really cool. But I want to talk about things in his bio that stand out as pretty good. So he is a podcaster. He podcasts about mental health. So I feel like he's going to be one of these guys that connects very well and is very empathetic to other house guests. He said he wants to win the first HOH to set the chessboard, which I really admire. It sounds to me like he would be very smart and careful about his first HOH. So even if he does win first HOH, I'm not getting like Frenchy HOH vibes from Kyle Moore or anything. I feel like he's not going to be like too aggressive. The only thing is, like, he could be recognized by some of the super fans in this cast, like Kevin or Jessica, just because of the whole Kyle Moore of it all. But overall, I'm feeling pretty good about him, and I actually like that he is the youngest person in the cast at 23. I feel like he's gonna come off as more like, because he's talking about mental health on his podcast and stuff like that, and really advocating for that. I feel like he's not gonna be seen as like dumb young boy, but almost like a rootable young lad, if that makes any sense. So that's like the vibe that I'm getting from Kyle. We'll see. But what do you guys think about Kyle Moore?
I think he has too much risk of being exposed because of the Kyle Moore story from last season. And I don't see the upside to it. Like, and especially in early rounds when you're looking for any reason to get rid of someone, that is the quickest way to be like, everyone thought he was on last season. Yeah, he's been talking to all of these, Big Brother Canada and like podcasters and people, and I think it's going to put a humongous target on his back, especially to recruits or more casual viewers, because they're going to be like, he's a huge threat, he's got to go.
Yeah.
Or it could be we need to keep him in the house because he's a mental health counselor, and like, I'm gonna need to speak to you every night and morning.
Yeah,
and
he could certainly.
I feel like they're gonna go to HR and Betty.
Oh, that's true too.
I think Kyle comes, like, his picture seems like he's like very affable. Like, I think that he will be somebody that, if there's any kind of nation vote, Kyle's getting it first. That's what I think the upside is. So I think that he's a really strong pick, especially if there's any kind of like Canada vote in the first like week or two,
But that could also be the downside is like the other super fans could be like, there might be a Canada's vote, and because people really know who he is by happenstance, he could get that. So that could give him power. And
That's
how
just
people
being a
get when
hater
it's like,
because
oh,
I
power.
picked him.
No, it's because I thought about taking Kyle myself, but it's like there's too many cons than there are to pros.
I agree with Phenomenal One. Production won't let Kyle leave pre-jury, but I also feel like, from my understanding, is that BB Can likes to let the game play a little better than BBUS likes to rig it up. Yeah. And speaking of which, lots of rumors flying that Carson was a last-minute rigged thing because of some drama that happened in production. So. For AFP yesterday, because apparently Carson wasn't even close to Shayna or Lamar in votes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We just were in an airplane for a second.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was. Adrian, any thoughts about Kyle before we move on here?
I like Kyle. He like talking about like mental health on his podcast. I really think he could like really gel well like people like an emotional kind of state. So like. Yeah, same thing. I'm like afraid of how like some of the super fans are gonna like clock him like, oh, that's fake Hal Moore. We gotta like watch out for him. But I could honestly see him like meshing really well with some of the house guests because of like his mental health podcast and like how he like does socially. So yeah, I like Kyle. So
all right, Beth.
Hey, real quick, I'm sorry. Let's take a real quick breather. Everyone in the chat wants to know what happened with Carson.
Okay,
Beth,
go ahead.
Can you explain real quick? I'm sorry. I just want to get that.
It's okay. Really quickly, it's not because of like they wanted to appease Carson. It's because they wanted to appease Todrick's management people, because Todrick threw a huge hissy fit in between a commercial break. There was already pressure from like all of his management and such, which is why they. Oh yeah. He got up right before the commercial happened and like stormed off. And so he threw a huge hissy fit before they even read the notes out loud. And so that's why there was like so many changes that happened to the structure of the show that kind of happened last minute. One of which was like, oh, we don't want to put salt in the wound. We think Carson would be a great AFP. And so that's one of the things that happened. But there's quite a few other things. Now, these are all coming from spoiler account sources, but ones that have been very correct about things. So just throwing all that out there. I could be providing a false sense too. So I just want to be like very transparent that all of that is very, very much like, but I also know from years past, AFP has been rigged. I'm putting it out there. I know this has been the case. I know fully that in BB17, there was somebody who was supposed to be in the top 3 who was not put in the top 3. So I'm not going to say anything more than that, but
I know what you're talking about. Did Julie have a thing that said Carson's name on it when she revealed the vote last night? I forget.
She did, because he was holding the little and the winner is Carson.
They probably print it for everybody just to
I don't think that's hard. They just go.
When did he get up? Was it on live on the show? Did we see him get up real quick?
We saw him at a split second. Basically, he gets up and he's like frustrated and like it goes right to commercial.
He quickly knows after those like little mini speeches as the keys are going in, this is not going.
No, he went through a hissy fit, and then once he got his phone, apparently there was also a whole like. As soon as the cameras cut, Shayna started talking shit to Todrick. He ignored it. He started talking shit to somebody else.
I think
Lamar had to step in. Like it was a whole thing. And then Todrick got his phone.
He got into it with Chris Kirkpatrick.
Yeah. And then Todrick got his phone, looked at it, locked himself in his dressing room, didn't come out, refused to do press, and now he's getting docked his pay because he's not fulfilling his contract of doing press.
Yeah.
So a whole bunch of stuff happened.
What a baby.
You can find all of that online, though, so let's not spend too much more time on this.
Sure. So, Beth, go ahead and give us your next pick.
Yeah, I'm going to go a little unconventional here, but I think purely because I think we've had a few interesting characters that kind of give me his vibe that have done well in a few seasons, and I'm going to choose Moose. I think Moose has a very charismatic, laid-back kind of personality. Moose is a Pisces, and I think that that makes him like more of kind of like a creative. I think that one of the things that I don't see people being like, we got to get Moose out now. I see Moose playing almost like a Kiefer-like role to a certain extent in terms of like how I don't think he's Kiefer. Don't get me wrong. If anybody's Kiefer in this cast, it's Kevin. But Moose will play that kind of role where like, at first it's like, who's he really loyal to? And then he's going to be like super loyal to somebody and then kind of move on. But I don't think he'll have as much as of the strategy that Kiefer did. So I don't really know how far he'll go, but I just think he'll be an interesting character. So I'm drafting him.
Okay.
I'm hesitant about a player like Moose after being so high preseason on JD on Survivor 41. That's the vibe that I get from this kid, and I do mean kid. He is a content creator. He's basically just like a professional YouTuber.
Hello, do you want to smack me?
We are not professional.
We make money. We're professional.
Very little. He says he's like the life of the party. Like, I feel like he's going to be really fun feeds, but I don't think he's going to be a dependable ally or somebody that's a big mover or shaker in this house. I do like that his name is Moose, though. So, Adrian, what do you think?
Moose is actually a pretty popular name and for a nickname and such in a lot of places in the Northeast and in it was anywhere where hockey is played, you'll find a Moose somewhere.
I hope he doesn't wear tight pants.
Yeah.
Moose knuckle.
Yeah.
I didn't get that reference.
I did. Sorry. It was great.
Adrian, what do you think about Moose?
I like Moose. I think he really has a really good personality because he's a content creator. He says his strategy is basically like find like a couple people to align with and like have them kind of like infiltrate like the other groups, kind of like a little bit what the Cookout did, but doing it in his own way and try to like take him to the end. My only problem is like if he becomes like too big of a personality, people might find him either like kind of annoying, like he's doing too much, or like he said in his like interview that the personalities that clash with him is like people that try to overshadow like his personality. So I really hope like this like personality war doesn't like tunnel vision him the win. So yeah, I like Moose. I just hope like he can like tone down the like personality a little bit, but I feel like he could play a good social game. So
King Matt, what do you think?
He's someone who gives me middle of the road vibes. Like I don't think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I don't think he's the worst thing. I think he's someone who could find his way into jury, but I could also see him being the bottom of someone's totem pole and getting cut. Like he doesn't give me the I'm going to assert myself if it's me or someone else enough where if he's against other personalities on this list, I think he could get run over. But that's just me.
Allison, any thoughts on Moose?
I just want to say for a minute there, I thought Beth was passing out.
No, I didn't eat because I thought I had another hour, so I'm starting to order food.
Okay, I just like scoot back and put your head down, and I was like, "Is she okay?" I don't know.
No,
Do
I'm
I
looking
need
at
to
my
interrupt
phone.
King Matt? I don't know what's going to happen here.
Listen.
Okay,
All right. So go ahead, Allison. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say he might be a little much for people, and it might get him voted out. Because listen, here's the thing: I'm a little bit older. Okay, I'm a little seasoned. I'm like a fine wine, the cheap kind on clearance in the grocery store that no one wants. But still, you get around people who are different and quirky. And look, what makes you different is what sets you apart from everyone else. And I admire that. It takes a lot of balls to be different in this world. So hats off to you. The only thing is there are some people that do it for attention and it just gets out of control and it gets annoying. Like, okay, we get it. Crazy hair, crazy shirts. You're loud. It's this and that. Be yourself. I don't want to meet your representative. I want to meet you. So I don't want it to end. I'm not saying that's the way it's going to go, but I'm just getting that from just my almost 45 years on this planet. Okay.
All right. So Matt, go ahead and give us your next pick.
I'm shocked that this individual is still on the board. I thought they would be gone. My pick is Jay.
This was who I was
gonna
torn
be
between
one of my-
for Kyle and Jay.
And funny thing, Beth, did I not say he's potentially picking Jay? So Beth,
Yeah,
Beth and
you
I
did
knew
say
who,
that. You did say that.
We know who you were potentially going to pick.
I'm just.
Are you talking about me or
Go ahead.
Tyler?
Me.
Tyler.
Go ahead,
Beth.
Beth. Give us a scoop on Jay.
I like that they're a theater person because that means you know how to act.
Yeah.
Well, not everyone, Matt.
Not every. That's true.
Have you seen
I have
Nicole
more
Kidman
confidence-
as Lucille Ball?
Hello, have you seen the Ricardos movie?
No, I actually haven't.
Terrible.
I'm not really a movie person, so
Okay,
I'm
sorry,
just.
go ahead.
But I believe that they could be a good person. They I'm blanking on his name. The guy who got second place on last season.
Braden.
Braden.
They give me very Braden vibes. In a positive way, and I think they could make that kind of run and maybe have the gumption to make the more strategic moves.
Yes, I totally agree.
And I like someone who has a personality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and they definitely seem to have that. Because look at the shirt they're wearing in their bio.
That's
much,
true.
but I like it.
I also want to add that Jay has experience with pole dancing, which actually, like, as funny as that is, like, could be really good for endurance comps.
Absolutely.
That's a good core exercise.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
But I totally agree with that assessment about being like a more confident, capable player than Braden was. I definitely see that, and I feel like the culture of the house will be very good for somebody like Jay.
Mm-hmm.
I was so torn between Kyle and Jay. So Adrian, what do you think about Jay?
I really like Jay. They have a really good sense of definitely personality, 100%. In their videos, they said that they want to kind of treat the house guests like their cat, kind of pet them, kind of really be cute to them. I don't know if that's gonna go well for them. But
Hold
I
on a
could see,
second, Adrian. Did you say that Jay wants to treat the house guests like his cat?
Yeah, their
God.
cat.
Their cat. I'm sorry, their cat.
Yeah.
I apologize. Jeez.
Yeah.
Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to. Oh,
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Adrian. I'm sorry. I was just.
I'm sorry. I just want to add to how that the personalities that they all clash with is fake people. That's why I'm kind of that's the only thing I'm afraid of for Jay, is that there's going to be some fake people in the house to them. So either Jay's going to have to fake it till they'll make it, or kind of clash with them at the same time. So that's what I'm afraid for them. I feel like they're going to be kind of a little bit of an emotional player, but I could definitely see them trying to be good socially. So that's all I have for Jay.
Allison or Beth, any thoughts on Jay?
Well, Jay is a Virgo again.
Yeah.
I just for fun was because normally they'll list off on different places what different kinds of each sign. The 4 types of Virgos are typically the silent observer, which I see more of Betty in that. The natural leader, which I think we discussed Josh could potentially be in that role as a doctor.
Molina.
And that kind of thing.
Molina.
I think Molina's more of another one. You have the selfless caregiver, which also I guess could be a Josh moment, that kind of thing. But the eccentric outlier is the one that I think we're going to see with Jay and Molina. The people who are a little eccentric, the people who are an outlier to the rest of what's going on around them, right? Jay could have some inroads with other people, other artists like Molina and Jessica, or will they go for a Moose kind of outlier? I know that the same criticisms people had about Moose, I think is going to be way worse for Jay. I think I see Jay being much louder, much more attention grabbing, much more whatever. And I think that's going to be to Moose's benefit, not to Jay's. And this is all based once again on photos and star signs. So don't read too much into it because I certainly did it.
Allison, any thoughts on Jay?
Okay, what kind of cats does he have? Because you've all met. I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm new to this.
We're just going to call you out every time. That's okay, and it's okay. Just move on.
I just want to know what kind of cats they have because you've all met my Finley. So, is this person going to be kicking them out of the bed, telling them to shut the F up, telling them to get a job? What are they going to be doing here? I mean,
from what I remember in their video, I think they have kind of like a chubby like gray cat, but I don't like.
I don't know. I'm screaming at my cat most of the time. You don't own me, and you don't get to tell me what to do. But I do it anyway.
I love.
So there you go. I don't know. I just hope that I think they are a very good looking person. So
yeah, I think so too.
I don't like the shirt. It's a little much for me, but it works on this person. Yes.
So I shouldn't wear that shirt on one of our shows, Allison?
No.
You have the black mesh part down like sometime.
Please wear a mesh shirt. Right? Do it for me without a
can do that.
If we get to 50 patrons, I'll wear a shirt like that on one of our shows. All right, so
remember, if we get to 25, Tyler gets to be Megan McCary.
Apparently, we don't have enough people that want
to
see that.
Offer is still out there. All right, so King Matthew, go ahead and give us your last draft pick.
I want to have a very well-rounded team. So I have my he, him. I have my they, them. So now I need my she, her. And I'm picking Janie.
Ooh, okay.
As my representative.
Jacey.
Oh yeah, Jacey. I don't know why I wanted to, I think I took Jacey-Lynne and fused it together and made it into Janie.
I didn't know Beth auditioned again.
I do like the fact that she is a social media manager because that means you have to deal with someone else who wants to put out certain things onto Twitter or Facebook that maybe they shouldn't. And you know how to filter someone and say, maybe you shouldn't say that. Maybe this is how you want to approach things. And I could see her being like someone's conscience almost. Like you can see someone getting ready to blow up and she could go to them and be like, okay, this isn't the time. It's not the place. I understand how you're feeling. And she claims she's very empathetic, which I think could be to her benefit. Because people who can empathize are I think, do pretty well in Big Brother. Because usually you have a good read of the room.
Yeah. Allison, what do you think about Jacey-Lynne? Oh, I'm sorry, Jacey-Lynne.
Jacey-Lynne.
Great. That name's ruined the whole. I'm going to be calling her Janie now. You know, you can depend on me. I'll ruin that every time now.
Oh, we officially have the Sam Higdon thirst alert for who Sam might not.
Yeah,
I was wondering when that was coming.
Thirst alert! It's Sam Wigdon. Listen, this is new.
There are plenty of people to thirst over on this cast.
That's I don't know. She didn't really stick out to me. I feel like she's a typical average Big Brother Canada pick, and nothing really stuck out to me that. Yeah, you're going to make it. She may get in a showmance, but I don't know. Nothing really strikes me as, she's athletic, but, athletic doesn't always win it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Adrian, I know you mentioned like the Beth comparison, and I kind of had that thought as well. So kind of explain that for us here. Why the Beth vibes?
So she mentioned in her video that she wants to kind of play both sides of the house, try to find a showman to have a guy carry her to the end. That's kind of in my opinion what Beth did, but I don't know. I feel like she could do well socially, but she's kind of in the middle of the road for me. Like, I don't know how farewell she'll do. Out of the two women that said like they kind of want a showmance, I could see Jacey-Lynne like doing like fairly well than the other. So, yeah.
Jacey-Lynne is a Libra. This house has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 earth signs. She's one of 2 air signs. And Virgos tend to be, or not Virgos, Libras tend to be a little indecisive. They tend to be like flirty, flighty. They're people who you love to be around. They're fun at a party, that kind of thing. But they're not somebody who are necessarily the most dependable, whether it's like returning your texts or it could be all those kind of things. I don't see her having agency in this game like everybody else in the house will. Yeah. She's got a lot of strong personalities, purely based once again on zodiac sign. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I haven't even read their bios, people. Based on this alone, I think that I see her going either as a tag along because there's other people who are stronger with her to jury, or I see her going before the jury.
Yeah, I would agree with all of that stuff as well. Like, to me, Jacey-Lynne, and she's 24, so she's on the younger side as well. Yeah. She kind of gives me like server at Buffalo Wild Wings that you see once or twice, and you give her 20% because that's what you're supposed to do.
She's the Chili's waitress.
Yeah, like I just it's like one thing is she is a super fan, so that's always a plus. Yeah. But I think she's very like showmance potential as well. So I don't know. I'm echoing all of you guys' thoughts about it. Just
also one more thing.
Adrian, go ahead.
Also, I could definitely see her having like an athletic side. Like in her video, she mentions that she's actually a figure skater. So I could definitely see her doing well in like kind of like the physical comps. Like if they have a wall comp or like things that do with balance, I can definitely see her doing really well in that. So
I like Dolores's comparison. I see her as an Alyssa from BB23.
Yeah,
that's a good comparison. Yeah,
that's a really great comparison.
That's a good one.
Once again, Alyssa didn't have a lot of agency, but she did have people who kind of like brought her.
She did okay. All right, so Beth, go ahead and give us your last pick here.
I have to go for the astrological pick of the most loyal sign there is.
Oh boy.
Tyler, do you know what that is?
It's not Scorpio.
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is?
I'm a Scorpio is the number one loyal sign there is. I'm going for Tanisha.
Okay, all right. I have some thoughts about Tanisha, but go ahead, Beth. Give us the tea on Tanisha.
Well, clearly anybody who gets a much larger photo than anybody else is clearly production's favorite. So I have to like give her that. And then secondly, once again, I mean, the most loyal signs tend to be Scorpio, Leo, Cancer, and Taurus. Thank you. And I really feel like as one of the few, she's one of 3 water signs, so she's going to have some brethren there. Water signs and earth signs get along pretty well. I see her being able to, water the earth, give them what they need, be loyal to her people. I don't know based off of picture what I really get from her personality wise. That's what is a question mark. So I'm kind of picking her because I'm purely doing it off of the Scorpio thing.
Yeah. So the vibes that I get from Tanisha are, and this is oddly specific, but she just came back on the challenge All-Star season 2. I get like very like Janelle from the challenge vibes. Almost like I'm a little above this. Like my nose is like up in the air about everything. But it's a very like attractive, like regal energy. I don't mean that in like she's like a stuck up like biatch or anything like that. She's gonna be really interesting to watch. She is one of 2 people that have kids in the house. So
and how old is she?
She is 32.
32.
And
He's younger than me.
She
Younger
in her
than
bio,
Jessica.
she keeps mentioning like I want to be like a strong like single mother. Like I want my kids to like be proud of the game I played and stuff like that. So I think she's gonna play pretty balls to the walls as well, which is very exciting. So I like Tanisha. She was gonna be my next pick here.
The energy she gives me from her photo gives me slight Tina vibes from last
Okay,
year.
I can see that. It's,
no.
it's the hair. It's the hair.
I want to.
Adrian, go ahead.
I like Tanisha. I just when she says like I want to do this for like the single moms or like for the moms, I got terror vibes from her, like saying like how she wants to do this for the moms. She says overly says like how like she's doing this for her daughter. I could definitely see her like being like the mother hen to like some people because like some of these people are like kind of pretty young. But I just really hope my only critique is that she doesn't become like too motherly in the house where people are like, okay, like I'm not your daughter, I'm not your son. I want you to leave. So I really hope she can tone down the motherly tone, but I could definitely see her doing really well and also in some of the endurance comps because she's a model and stuff. When I hear model, I immediately thought of Brittany from BB Camp 3, and she did really well in one of the endurance comps early on.
That's true.
So,
Allison,
let me say something real quick. Because she, I get what you're saying. She's a mother, and sometimes some of these people do come in and kind of talk down to the other contestants because they are parents or they, I guess it just depends. For me, it would be the age of the children. If her children are younger, which I'm thinking they are because she's only 32.
She has a 7-year-old.
So yeah, then she's going to have that. She's either going to have extreme patience or she's going to be a control freak, one or the other. And but for me, I have an older son and I'm a grandmother. So to me, I'm at the point, if I were in the house as a mother, it would be, well, you're going to have to learn the hard way then, because I'm not going to tell you how to do it. You're old enough to make your own damn decisions. You won't act grown, be grown. That's it. That's like I tell my son, you want to act like a grown up and be grown, you can go do that on your own. Don't be asking me. I know ATM. There's no mama ATMs when you're on your own and grown. You want to be a grown up, you pay them bills.
Matt, what do you think about
that's my
Tanisha?
I'm apparently going to be the king of the contrarian because I am saying not so fast. Okay. She has 3 big glaring red flags, to me at least. Mm-hmm. 1 is the model. 2, her relationship status is Allison's favorite. She is booed up.
I think that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life, and I'm just going to leave it.
And I'm with you, Allison. And 3rd, she is from Montreal.
Where Tayshawn is from.
Montreal
and won last year.
I still have my thing with the Quebecois.
Cool. Be careful.
Even though I
love Montreal. I love Montreal.
But Montreal can also be a very controversial city with some uppityness. And so I see too many red flags there.
Yeah.
I will say this, between Big Brother Canada last year, which was the only time I really watched the season with Tayshawn being the only person from Montreal last year. And then on top of that, having the first couple seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race Canada, the Montreal people are there might be a slight uppity thing, but it's not egotistical. It's kind of like, I kind of like am more intrigued by that person. And I think that I hope that that's more of her case. I understand what you're saying, though. I mean, I grew up. It's 2 hours from the border.
It's the Montreal and the model hitting me together.
That's
giving me
also
a higher red flag than I usually would get with someone from Montreal.
Yeah,
like there's just a lot of red flags there for me personally.
Also, one more thing. Wasn't your first pick from Quebec?
I said I drafted a Quebecois. But they're not from Montreal.
Montreal and Quebec we're talking about. Montreal is a city in Quebec. And so Quebec itself has its own thing.
Yes.
But Montreal has its very own
thing.
I just want to
My,
call out the hypocrisy a little bit. So
my geography in Canada is not very
I know
good,
me.
so I don't know.
As Beth and I are both from New
Please
York.
don't get me started.
As Beth and I are both from New York, we know our Canadian stuff decently well.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and lock in my last pick here. So pretty slim pickings here. I'll be frank. I'm torn between Stephanie and Herman. I think I'm going to go. Gosh, do I make my team like a sausage fest this year? I think so. I think I'm gonna go with Herman.
Thank God.
Oh, sorry. I just stopped sharing my screen. But yeah, so I'm gonna go with Herman. I don't feel too crazy high about him. He is a used car salesman, literally. So like that can always be a little too like salesy, like salesy 101 type of thing. Very little like mansplaining. But he specifically says that he wants to win week 2 HOH, which is interesting that he's like that zoned in on like a specific week. And he wants to lean into his humor. He is pretty big like go-getter. He says that he owned 2 houses by age 27. And he's open to a showman. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm not feeling too great about his chances, but I'm feeling better about his chances compared to the rest of the people left. So that is my pick. Herman.
Yeah, for me, Herman, like watching his video, he kind of gives me like Jamar from BB Can 8 feels. He has that like kind of like swagger to him.
Yeah.
Also kind of like that the car salesman and stuff. He also mentions like how I'm beautiful, like I'm basically boyfriend material to some ladies. And I'm like, he's kind of like too broy and has like kind of like an ego to him. But like him saying he wants to win the second HOH is kind of like a little bit interesting. Like he wants to like win and just like find like his people to like get to the end. So I do see a little bit of strategic side, but like he might have kind of like that ego to him. So that's why I'm kind of worried for him and like for the long run. So yeah, that's all I got for him.
Matt, what do you think about Herman?
I mean, the whole win the week 2 HOH doesn't feel as crazy to me. For him to openly declare it, like, you know, it seems a little strange, but honestly, winning week 2 HOH is kind of an ideal HOH. You have a decent idea of what the playing field looks like. You're not having to make any snap judgments. You know, you have an idea of who these people are. And people, if they don't have a week 1 deal in place, are willing to gravitate towards the week 2 HOH.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that, you know, some people are like, that's weird. Honestly, that would be the HOH I would want to win, because that gives you that groundwork. Like you can do your work week 1 and you can be in week 2 and have a target in mind.
Yeah.
It should be the week 1 HOH. That should be your target.
Yeah.
That's true.
More often than not, it is.
Yeah. Beth, what do you think?
Recently? So he's a Taurus. Unlike Jessica as a Taurus, like where I've got more of the laid back energy, what I'm getting from Herman is strategically lazy energy based off of what you are all saying. And I think that making other people do your work can be a great thing, but I just don't see that being a winning strategy based off of what you're all saying and combined with his Taurus sign. I mean, Taurus can be loyal. They're traditionally very loyal in many other senses, but I don't know in a game like this. That's where I'm a little. We got
Beth,
a raid coming through.
Yeah, I was about to say Jeremy rated you.
Thank you so much. Quick shout out to Jeremy who just rated us. Thank you so much.
I'll do it.
We are nearing the end of our Big Brother Canada 10 draft. Thank you so very much for that raid. So yeah, I think that I think that Herman has. I kind of take his style, right? I like his style. It's not a traditional suit, but it is. You know, like it's not something crazy, but it's also not something that's like boring. But it's not standing out. And so if he can kind of do that route, great. But if he's going to be trying to be flashy and broy on top of also not bringing anything else to the strategic part of the game, I see him as being one of the first guys out.
Yeah. And that's I feel like he could go in that broy direction.
He's the target of the week 3 HOH.
Yes.
Yeah.
Allison, what do you think about Herman here?
If you have to tell me how great you are when you walk in the room, I don't want to hear about it. I'm awesome, but I don't talk about it. You know why? Because I'm awesome. And you know it.
That's right.
That's why I wear a shirt that says it for you.
Right.
That's right. No, I just feel like it's to me, people who have to constantly talk about their accomplishments or about themselves. I think to me, it's a sign of validation. If you're that confident, you don't have to talk about how confident you are.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Superman's not running around going, look what I can do. I can fly and I can leap buildings in a single bound. Okay. Sorry, that might be an old reference for
okay. That's what I like.
Somebody more recent, like Barney, I should use. He's a big purple dinosaur and he's awesome. But he doesn't need to say it because he's
in
big
our
and purple.
imagination.
Yeah, he's in your imagination.
I think ancient old Jessica would have gotten that reference, Allison.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So Allison, go ahead and give us your last pick here.
Oh, the pickings. Gee, I wonder who Allison's gonna pick.
You're gonna pick Martin.
You know what? I did not pick Martin just because you said that. So you know what?
Well, I said it. Now, to be fair, I said that multiple rounds ago.
Yeah, but Martin has Allison
so
as Tyler's written all over it.
A follower, he doesn't know how to lead.
True. Allison, go ahead and give us your pick.
He's a follower that doesn't know how to lead. Marty?
No, Tyler. Tyler.
Yeah. I should have known that. Sorry. My bad. I'm messing. Okay, I'm gonna pick Marty Frenet.
Tyler, you could just shut your mouth. Oh my
I knew
gosh.
it was coming. Like whether I said it or not, I was going to pick him. So Allison, go ahead and tell us why Marty is winning Big Brother Canada then.
Well, I just have to, give a little shout out. For me, just with the whole, from what I've seen from Big Brother Canada, the older people like me, because I'm older than him, by the way. I know that I am older than him. Okay.
That's possible?
Yes. What is he, 42?
I had no idea. Yes.
I don't know. I was just joking
42.
around.
43.
43.
He's 43. I'll be 45 tomorrow. So
preemptively, happy birthday to Allison.
Yes, happy birthday.
Yes, happy
Allison.
birthday
Allison.
to Allison.
Thank you. I'm going to pet my scarf. Okay. I'm wearing the scarf, Beth, that I was petting.
That's why you didn't go last.
Thank you. Listen, here's the thing. I feel like with Canada, the older people are not treated as relics who can't do anything as they are in the U.S. And they do go farther. Like, who is it? Karen? Didn't Karen go far? She didn't win, though. Yeah. Final 2. So I feel like,
Kiefer?
Marty might. Kiefer, yeah, I feel like he's
Tina
gonna.
Tina also made jury last season.
Yeah, Tina Terry. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I feel like
Tara made final 3.
Good for him. He's here. He's gonna do some stuff. Am I using the right pronoun?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Make sure. Okay, so I think
yes,
he's gonna do good. And just because he's older, don't count him out. And I don't know much about the guy, but I just gotta give a shout out to anyone who's in their 40s and makes it on any kind of Big Brother, because we are overlooked. People immediately see the age and.
Honestly, Allison, I'm just gonna. This is a side note. I think you could easily tell people that you're 32 and nobody would think anything differently.
1000%.
And I think that should be your new strategy. And then you don't even say shit. If they look at your license, go, it was a misprint. It's a whole thing. And then
they just got the decade. They just got the decade wrong.
They got the decade wrong. It's a whole thing. Believe me, I'm trying to get it fixed, but the state of Tennessee.
Listen, due to my sobriety, I'm not doing anything that requires me to be carded anymore. Unfortunately, it's not fun around here anymore.
Well, I'm saying, like, if you got cast, they're going to have to look at something, identification, right? So in that situation, and they're going to be like, wait, you lied to us. You're going to be like, oh no, it's a whole thing, whatever. And then,
I lied to you. Go cry me a river, you producers, and you lie all the time. You rig shit. Look at Carson. One word. Don't even get me started. I really feel like, you know what I'm telling the waiter tomorrow when we go to dinner tomorrow. I'm 32. Because what you're supposed to do is you flip the numbers around. Well, I can't do that anymore. I'll be 54.
Yeah, that doesn't work in the ones. So like if you're like 51, you can't be like, I'm 15. Because that's a weird. I will
right
say
now,
this,
Beth and I are in the weird position where if we flip ours, it's still the same.
Hey.
Listen, Dolores, I can't. This is not the shock value anymore. The shock value is when I tell them I'm a grandmother. That's when the bottom falls out. And
when you tell them that you're 65 and a grandmother, then they're like, the grandmother part I get, but like, oh my gosh, give me your skincare routine. That's going to be the next thing that comes.
I don't go outside. I don't go in the sun. I just had 4 layers of skin burned off my face today. That's why I'm wearing a hat and I'm covered up because I believe in collagen rebooting. Okay.
About Marty, he is a fraud investigator. Which I think is a really interesting career for this. Yeah. So he's going to be looking for those lies and.
Okay. I'm down.
Like this is why I thought this would be Allison's first pick. It's because I saw he was a fraud investigator, and it was like this screams Allison to me.
Yep.
Not because he's the oldest house. Is he? I think he is the oldest.
Yeah.
But
yes, he is.
I saw a fraud investigator, and I was like, "This is Allison."
Allison.
So Marty is a Capricorn. He's the lone Capricorn in this season. Virgos and Capricorns. It's so interesting. I think when I think of all the different signs, right? Every threesome of the elements, there's always like a power struggle between 2 of them to be like, we're the leader though of this earth sign, right? There is no, like, I don't care if you're fire sign, earth sign, whatever, blah, blah, blah. When it comes to Virgos and Capricorns, they are not as sisterly as like Sag and Aries are, or, Libra and Aquarius, or Gemini and Aquarius, or whatever. Like, there's always those 2 signs that tend to kind of battle it out. Virgo and Capricorn go head to head as if they are not a part of the same element. So he is either going to blend right in and be the exact kind of what he needs to be in order to have a good position in the house, or he's going to be like the wrong kind of, I'm going against all the Virgos. My sense is because he's got the age and a slight age difference, because it's really not that dramatic at the end of the day. I see him with that more wizened sense of being able to potentially kind of figure out what he's got to do to get in what's going on. I don't know how long that lasts for him. That's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah.
The other thing I like about him is he's from New Brunswick, which is a very underrepresented province in any, if you ask people to name a Canadian province, they're going to probably say Ontario, Quebec, and probably British Columbia is like the first 3 that come to mind.
Yeah.
New Brunswick is usually a very underrepresented space. I think it could give him maybe a little more motivation to do his province proud.
Yep.
Adrian, any quick thoughts before moving on to your last pick here?
God damn it. Marty was going to be one of my last pick for my team, so that freaking sucks. I like Marty. I love that he's a huge super fan of the show. Like, I'm in his video that he rides his bike while watching like some of the episodes back and stuff. I just want to add on to like Beth's like point of view, like not only having like the age, but like he has like a not like a really thick accent, but like I don't know if it's French though, but I could honestly see people kind of like seeing him as like, oh, he's like a dad to me. So hopefully that the fatherly figure in him kind of like does well in good graces for others. So
if I'm not mistaken, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I see a Tara, but like a little bit of a John Party type of character because of like how goofy, and he's a hockey coach. So
yeah, that's true.
I feel like the New Brunswick accent is somewhere between like a Quebec French and a Nova Scotian, like, oh yeah, welcome on in. Like it's like somewhere in between that I can't do, so I'm not even gonna attempt it. But
it's when French meets Canada.
No, that's really fair. That's a good one.
It's like you take the traditional or the stereotypical Canadian accent, you take the French accent that you get from Quebec, you mash them together.
Yeah.
And you get that.
All right.
So Adrian, go ahead and give us the last pick of the night. So just to recap, you have between Stephanie and Kevin, and so one of them will go undrafted until the first eviction. So go ahead.
First off, can I just ask y'all, do you guys know where I ranked both Stephanie and Kevin on my list?
Dead last?
Yeah, really. These seem like the picks you really didn't want to have.
Dead fucking last. So, hopefully, with the Teddy
karma a bitch.
Oh, boy.
Okay. King Matthew, I have like kind of like a deal with you after this, so like talk to you about.
Right.
So
you best believe.
I know. I'll make a deal with you after this, so like kind of get back into your good graces. So, I'm gonna go with Teddy Mellencamp and choose the lesser of the two evils. Ladies, let's get information. Let's go, Stephanie.
All right. So Stephanie is the last pick on the board. So Adrian, give us the scoop on Stephanie here.
Child, when I watched her cast bio, I was like, "Girl, aren't you supposed to audition for Too Hot to Handle or Love Is Blind or something?"
Right.
So I was like, she said she wants to have a showmance if it's good for her game. I like that she wants to like backstab and like be a villain. Like she wants to do whatever it takes to like go far in the game. She's a party girl, so like she can definitely mesh well like Betty because they want to be like outgoing personality. She doesn't like people who are like non-outgoing. She just wants people like to have fun as well. But I just have a feeling that some of the women are gonna like, oh, she's like that blonde girl. She's going to be like the fun that's going to get into showmance real quick. I see her getting into showmance with Gino for sure. Mm-hmm. So I can honestly see her like having like that target of her back of like, oh, she's like that blonde chick of the stereotype. So yeah.
Yeah, I like a lot of her bio is like, you might not guess that I'm smart by my looks, but I graduated college. Like that's the kind of vibe I get from her. And I agree, Adrian. It's very like Love Island casting, and I feel like that's not the culture of this house at all. So I feel like she's used to being in like the popular crowd in high school and stuff, and I feel like this is not going to go that direction for her. So I don't think she's going to do well at all. Matt, what do you think?
I think she actually has something good going for her. She is a child and youth worker, which means she deals with people who scream and have to have their way all the time because young kids always seem to think they have to have their way. And she, around those personalities.
At any age.
I think she is the type of person, because like look at Victoria last season. She was not a child care worker, but she worked with juveniles and
youth advocate,
social work.
Youth advocate.
Those kind of people do well in the game, and if she isn't taken for granted as like she's a ditz, she could make moves.
Yeah.
Beth, Josh,
go ahead, Adrian.
Oh, sorry. And her and Josh work with kids. So like I could definitely see them relating them to each other on that part. So I get your point, King Matthew. So
Beth, what do you
as one
think?
should, as one should.
I think this pasta is delicious.
It looks delicious.
She's a Virgo. Said it before, I say it again. I just don't see her having, I don't know. She just kind of, I think we just get another generic blonde girl. I'm sorry about it. That's what I'm getting from her.
Allison, any thoughts on Stephanie Patterson?
Absolutely not. But we will, for a minute, take one moment to admire my grandson who's giggling in this picture because he's so excited about Big Brother season starting back up. You little ginger snap here.
So cute.
He's so cute, okay? We always talk about no blonde with the typical blonde extensions in her hair and spray tan and frosted lips. Okay, nobody got time for that.
So real quick, our last person here is Kevin Jacobs. I feel like he's really going to overplay it. Like all of his bio stuff is like, I want to lie, cheat, and steal to pit the other house guests against each other. I want to be a snake in the grass, and it feels very like self-producey. He's a RHAP patron, but I feel like that's even more ammo for him to be like, I'm a super fan. I'm gonna play balls to the walls and play like 90 days worth of game in like 1 week. Like if he's the first HOH, we're getting another Frenchie HOH-itis type of situation. I think best case scenario I think he could be like Ryan from BB Can 6. But that would require a lot of things to go right in his favor, which I just don't see happening.
They're going to be giving him a script to read. He's going to be the one yelling with the lines fed to him.
Yes.
Remember, I told you, it's that one person is Kevin Jacobs.
Yes. So I don't know. We'll see. But it just feels very like, it doesn't feel like he's a genuinely like villainous person. Like it feels like he's like trying to like produce himself into this role, which I'm not a big fan of. But I
feel like he's Tyler's evil twin.
Oh my gosh!
Because if you take off his glasses,
is my hair that bad?
It's not that bad. But like
you can be honest.
No, your hair is definitely not that bad. But it's like I saw it and it was like,
bless his heart.
This is what Tyler would be if he tried to be an evil supervillain.
Yes. If this is my Ursula, if you will, for like a Phoebe reference. Adrian, any thoughts on Kevin?
So basically watching his video, his strategy is basically doing the most. He wants to do everything, like basically what Frenchie did. Like, I want to nominate 2 strong threats, pit them against each other. Let's go. Yep. Frenchie HOH is incoming. Oh my gosh, like this guy. I really hope he's just playing it up just to get in the season. And then we see him on the live feed just straight up chilling. That's it. I really hope it's all just an act. That he's just like doing well socially. And Beth, what do you want to say? He's an Aquarius. Like, what are
Well, so a lot of you are sitting here going, "Oh, I think he's playing up being quirky." No. He's an Aquarius. He's just quirky. Like that is Aquarius are literally thought of as being aliens. Like that's like their whole thing is like they're out there. They're weird. They want it also done their way, but it's like different from a Virgo who wants to take charge. Aquarius just think that they're better than you and that they have like so many other things that they could be doing. And so they have like that air sign that's just kind of like, I'm better than you, like about it. That's like very different from an earth sign that's more grounded in how they think about things. So I think that he's just like very lofty and I think he's going to have all these different ideas and such. I think that is genuine to who he is. But I think the things that he's playing up are definitely self-produced to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat, I got to look where I forgot what they said, but they were getting Scotty vibes, and I agree with that.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
I would say if you, one second, I would also say that if you would do like Scotty and Kiefer together, that's the kind of feeling I get with him because Kiefer was like not afraid to make moves, go against the grain a little bit. And I get that from him, but then I also get like this kind of Scotty, like chaotic energy doesn't know really how to contain that to a certain extent. And like that's like both are like kind of on the nerd edit or whatever. And I think that that's what he's going to bring because of the podcast, like the fact that he's like a reality show nerd.
Yeah.
Sorry, Derek, go ahead.
I just by looking at him, I also hopefully he has like a Johnny kind of upside from BB Can 6. Where,
Oof, I don't know about that. I wish, but I don't know about that.
Playing too hard, but like what after his HOH is kind of like chilling a little bit. But that's going to be a really long shot for him if he actually does like what he does like in his preseason bios. That's all I gotta say.
All right, guys. So that is our draft for Big Brother Canada Season 10. So we have up on the board all of our picks. I will also be tweeting out this picture. So definitely leave us a comment below or tweet at us, whatever you want to do, letting us know who you think has the best draft team. Will Matt be dethroned this season? We shall see. We shall see. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this season. Great cast overall. I feel like it's going to be messy this season, and that's what I'm here for. I'm really excited. The house looks amazing as well. Production just always steps it up for BB Can, which I really appreciate. But yeah. So any last thoughts before we sign off, Allison?
Tyler, it looks like you might be gaining Kevin the first week.
I can see that. I
just looking.
My first pick I feel good about, but I really wanted Jessica.
The other two I'm not too sure about, but I could be gaining
my
it
first
too.
pick is good, but like my other two picks are just I don't know.
See, the funny thing is, the only person here who I think has a team that would threaten mine is probably Allison. Because I do like.
I think Allison has
assembled.
Yeah,
I think Allison has the best team.
Yeah.
In terms of cohesion.
Well, you can be wrong, Beth, but that's okay.
I'm normally right.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of shit talking between me and Matt this season.
I think you have a very solid team, Allison.
I think Matt has a good team
mix
too.
Of personalities.
I think it's a good team. I think we have the best teams, Matt. I think we should team up.
We usually do. We were on the same team kind of in Survivor because you were looking at Ricard as the winner, who was on my team.
Yeah,
that's true. All right, guys. Well, that does it for us. If you liked what you saw, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/myweeklymeltdown. Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. Give us a 5-star review there. Pretty please. Look at all these wonderful comments saying that Tyler has the best team. I love you all. Thank you so much.
Oh, jeez.
People can be very wrong.
Well, I have the best pasta, so you can all suck it.
I hate pasta,
we'll be figuring out the Survivor draft pretty soon. I'm going to Singapore next week for vacation if shit doesn't hit the fan even more with the world. So we'll see about that. But so we'll figure out a time for a Survivor draft. But very excited for the premiere of BB Can and everything. So everybody have a great rest of your night. Take care, and we'll see you guys soon. All right, bye.